This week, I had the opportunity to present to the audience at Expert HR all about moving from traditional performance reviews to impactful performance conversations. And I will go ahead and drop a link to the replay in the show notes here. But one of the things that came up that I presented about are the 4 types of feedback conversations that you can have with an employee on an ongoing basis. Now, the whole premise of the webinar that I did was that performance reviews aren't enough. They aren't working, they're broken. There are factors about the performance review process that don't promote employee engagement or employee excitement, and they're broken. And so, what can we do, or what should we be doing? What are the best companies doing to keep employees aligned with their goals, to keep employees excited about the work that they're doing, and to help managers develop better relationships with their employees? Um, I can tell you, we're evaluating our own performance process here at Jumpstart and what that looks like. So it's always fun when you can talk about something that you're actively working through, because it gives you an opportunity not only to source out best practices at the same time, but bring it back to your own organization and see what works. So I wanted to just share with the audience the 4 types of feedback conversations that you should be having with your team. All right, so the first kind of feedback that you should be giving to your team is instant feedback. So instant feedback is when you're aware of a goal or a project or a skill that an employee is attempting to develop or is on their developmental roadmap, and you see them exercise that skill, master that skill, or fail at that skill, right? So when you see them acting on that skill, give them immediate instant feedback about how they did. One example might be for professional speaking, right? Let's say you are on track for management and you need to be able to communicate to stakeholders. And so your supervisor is monitoring or give you the opportunity to speak at the next team meeting, right? So after that meeting, you would want to expect from your supervisor to tell you what did you do well, what could be improved upon, and how well you're tracking towards the desired goal. That's the type of instant feedback that an employee could benefit from, that you as a manager should be giving, because that helps you move from milestone to milestone without having to wait an entire year before figuring out, hey, how am I doing? Because the one of the big pitfalls of traditional annual performance reviews is that you wait so long to give feedback, the employee's in the dark about how they're doing. So we wanna change that. The next thing that you can do, and this is great if you have group goals, if you have an organizational goal, are to provide huddles and stand-ups. And so what you're looking to do in a huddle and stand-up is to make sure that you're communicating the most important things that people need to pay attention to and the mission that you're looking to accomplish. Now, a huddle and a stand-up, I use them interchangeably, but what they are quick 3 to 5 minute conversations about the most pressing goals, what's everybody working on, and what they need to focus on. So if you are able to lead these types of conversations effectively in your organization, you should do a great job of keeping the main thing the main thing. It is a downfall of performance processes, appraisal processes, that the main thing changes and you didn't know about it, right? Or you set goals in Q1, but the priorities change in Q2, Q3. So you're no longer working towards those Q1 goals. You're attempting to tackle Q2 and Q3 goals. But with a huddle or a huddle or a stand up, that's going to allow you um, to have fluid conversations, ongoing conversations about what's the most important thing today and what do we need to do to tackle it. All right. The next thing you can do is have scheduled meetings. So this is where you have once a month, once a week, set an agenda, and just I like to do it in Google Docs, or I like to do it in some document where you're just adding to the top of the document and pushing past meeting agendas down, because when you do that, it allows you to see what progress you had made from the last meeting, what your goals were from the last meeting, and you can address them in the current meeting. So, for example, every week I have a conversation with my finance manager, and we talk about, hey, what are the goals that we're looking to accomplish? So, in this agenda, which is a single document and it flows, I hold myself accountable to certain action items, and he holds himself accountable to certain action items, right? His action items might be to accomplish something, or to attend a course, or to speak with a coach or a mentor or someone, in our advisory team. And my accountable goals similarly are to accomplish something, or provide a document, or connect with the person, right? So when we have these ongoing scheduled meetings, we know that there's a set time and place that we're going to be able to discuss our goals. There's a set time and place where we're able to discuss what we did, and there's a set time and place to discuss new things. So you really want to think about having scheduled meetings. If you're not having scheduled meetings with your team members, have one-on-one meetings where you're talking about performance. All right, now we'll go into number 4, which is retros and planning. All right, so this is pulling some terminology from the Agile method and from Scrum, where retro planning meetings are essentially where you get together with a project team and you look back at the past 2 weeks, for example, and you look forward to the next 2 weeks. So in this type of meeting, you are bringing all the work that you've accomplished over the past 2 weeks and saying, here's what we got done. You're also taking a look at the list of things that you may have been tasked with and said, hey, here are the things we weren't able to accomplish and why. And then from there, you're able to plan the next 2 weeks and say, based on where we are today, we should be able to accomplish A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, X, Y, Z, and hold each other accountable to that. So the retro planning meeting is a great opportunity for a group to get together and march towards goals and evaluate progress. Sure, you could have a one-on-one meeting that's a retro and planning. For example, if you are working for a smaller team, or if you have a small company, one-on-one retro plannings can be a great way to hold each other accountable to what's been done and what needs to happen in the future. So I really, really believe that if you get these 4 meetings right and you do them often, you have a toolkit that you can use at your disposal to have better, more impactful performance conversations. And if you want to hear the rest of my thoughts on impactful performance conversations, go ahead and check out the link in the description in the show notes. It'll take you to a page where you can check the replay of the webinar. And if there's another topic that you would want us to cover on Consulting's Corner, hit us up at hello@jumpstart-hr.com. And I would love to answer your question, share some insight or feedback on whatever topic it is that you have in mind.